It's early in Kolkata, it's December, and it's time for Tata Steel 25K. We're all warming up for a magnificent event that lies ahead. Look at these wonderful warm-up shots. This is what we've all waited an entire year for. In fact, we've waited 3 years for it, and this is another magnificent event in the making. The City of Joy awaits. And early in the morning, at 5:40 is when the Open 10K race began. As some early morning runners try to go for their regular morning walks, look what we have lined up for you. It's a fabulous list. 5:40 in the morning is when the Open K started. 6:25, the elite races followed a minute later by the Open 25K. We've got champions with disability, and everything wraps up with the Anondo Run. And here I am, waiting at the start-finish line. There's so much activity happening. You can see the runners, so many of them in Argentina jerseys, just running past me. Just to my left, you can see the grandstand, the prize distribution stage, all the dignitaries waiting to line up. But most importantly, it's a sea of humanity that's walking past here. It's a privilege to be at the start-finish line at Tata Steel Kolkata 25K. There's no other place I'd rather be early on a December Sunday morning. But
good morning. It is going to be a grand morning. It is going to be absolutely spectacular. Welcome to TSK 25K. Well, all the action's going to happen right here. Notun Josh, Notun Run, Tata Steel 25K.
there it is. That is the record, the Asia Book of Records that Asif Iqbal is going for. The adjudicator will be there, and of course, we'll be keeping an eye on him throughout the course of this race in Kolkata. These are shots from early in the morning. 5:40 is when the Open 10K started, and Asif began just a few minutes before that. But we mentioned we've got a big team in place here at Tata Steel 25K. We will, of course, keep an eye on everyone who's there. That's the start of Asif's race. Remember, as we told you, it's about being guided, voice guided. And there's another familiar figure looking to flag off Asif early in the morning. Vivek P. Singh was there, Joint Managing Director of Procam International. Moments before the Open 10K started, sun still hadn't come up in Kolkata, and that's how everyone's Josh, everyone's Notun Josh was there. And in Asif's case, it was Notun Josh and Notun Alo. What a wonderful story, what a heartwarming story indeed it is for all the runners in Kolkata. Well, this is where we are at the start-finish line. We're still looking for our full team out there. Mobani, where are you?
Hello everybody, I am Magic Mobani, and I would love to tell you more about this place, which is the holding area. Exactly 13,000 runners are here today for the Tata Steel Kolkata 25K. And this cannot get any more exciting because the sky is putting up the rouge, which we were looking for, and you can imagine how magical it is all.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're all set to welcome the international elite runners to Kolkata for the Tata Steel 25K. First, let's welcome in bib number 1, Leonard Barsaton from Kenya, the defending champion and the course record holder at the Tata Steel Kolkata 25K. Will he defend his crown? There are enough challengers in bib number 2. Victor Kiplangat from Uganda, the Commonwealth Games 2022 marathon champion, is here to make his presence felt. And the challenge continues in bib number 3. Birhanu Legese from Ethiopia, the 2-time Tokyo Marathon champ, 2-time Delhi Half Marathon champ, and the former champion here in Kolkata from 2018 is back to regain his crown. There it is for the international elite men. What about the ladies? Let's welcome the ladies to Kolkata in bib number 101, Ashite Bekere from Ethiopia. The runner-up at the Tokyo Marathon 2022 is making her debut in Kolkata today. In bib number 102, Desi Jisa from Bahrain, the runner-up from the Tata Steel Kolkata 25K, is back to claim her maiden 25K title. And in bib number 103, Zaineba Yimir from Ethiopia, making her running debut here in Kolkata, will be out her authority. Let's hear it for the champions here today. And of course, if the Indian men and women are all set, let's welcome them in a typical Kolkata welcome. In bib number 52, put your hands together for Murli Avit, the 2019 Asian Championships 10,000 meter silver medalist, is out to claim his first Kolkata title. Not far behind on his heels in bib number 53, a familiar figure on these streets, Abhishek Pal, the former Delhi half marathon champion and Murli's biggest rival, will be gunning for this particular title. The Indian men are out there and set. Let's join the Indian ladies in bib number 121. Please welcome Sanjeevani Jadhav, former Delhi half marathon and TCS World 10K Bengaluru champion, out to claim her first crown in Kolkata. And in bib number 120, put your hands together for Prajakta Godbole, the 2019 World University Games 5,000 meter runner, is gunning for her first ever international race title. Come on, Kolkata, let's give all these wonderful men and women a warm welcome. We're at the start line live in Kolkata for the Tata Steel Kolkata 25K. You can see the elite runners are all set, and these are the big names we've talked about. We've briefly seen Leonard Basseton, the defending champion, Victor Kiplangat, Biranu Legese, who's won it before, Kedebe Wami from Ethiopia. These are some of the big names to look out for. Alfred Negemo, Abisa Tola, and Abel Sikowo from Uganda. The elite men to look out for. They're at the start line, and what a sight it is. The grandstand to the left, the misty wintry skies just behind, and the Indian men, a lot of names who have run here before. Srinu Bugata, he's been a great runner. Murli Gavit, lots expected from him. Abhishek Pal, of course, has been winning races. Harshad Matre, Anil Yadav, Durga Buddha, and Savan Barwal and Kalidas Hirave also, who's been a force to reckon with in Indian running circles. There they are with just the final warm-ups before they get to the start line. 6:25 local time is when the elite race gets underway, followed a minute later by the open race. Some of the ladies that we can have a look at.
Yes, just a very high quality but fairly small international elite field. Just 9 athletes there, but Merceline Chelangat there from Uganda, she's very much amongst the favourites. Chelangat, well, she's very experienced indeed. It's her birthday yesterday, actually. She's a 68-minute half marathon runner, 21K, of course this distance 25K, just asking a little bit more of the athletes.
Sanjeevani Jadhav, well, she'll be in among the front runners, as will Prajakta Godbole. The dignitaries are all out there. At some point, we'll have a look at people from various walks of life, and some of our stars, of course. His Excellency, the Governor of West Bengal, will be there. The Honourable Minister of Sport, Adil Sumariwala, always there, President of the Athletics Federation of India, making a list of all the dignitaries. And we look like we're underway.
We are underway, yeah. We didn't actually get the gun. The guy is actually setting off from the line, but the clock is running. 15 seconds now. We're expecting Sikowo to go out pretty hard here. He is the pacemaker, the 23-year-old Ugandan. And of course, this is a fast, flat course. There was talk at the press conference 2 days ago of course records and even world records. And look at the prize money. These are professional athletes. That's what they come for. $7,500 to the winner, $5,000 to second place, $3,000 for third place, and so on. That's the same for the men and women. It's big money to take back to East Africa. And these athletes will be in training for many, many weeks, absolutely focused upon today's race. The pacemaker is there to get them into a nice rhythm, settle them down over the first few kilometres, perhaps to halfway, maybe slightly beyond. Then he will move aside, Sikowo, and let the racers get on with the latter stages where they'll be taking chunks out of each other if it was a boxing match.
Well, if you can imagine the sea of humanity that's following those elite runners, that is, of course, the open race, the 25-kilometer open race that started 1 minute after the elite athletes, all going down this iconic red road, also called Indira Gandhi Sarani. 25K, the amateurs, and the Vijay Diwas Trophy. It's wonderful to have all the armed forces coming together to compete for the Vijay Diwas Trophy. They form such an integral part of Kolkata's landscape, and especially this area that falls under the purview of the army. They are the hosts, if you like, and what a wonderful part of the city it is. The tree-lined avenue that we've all known as Red Road from time immemorial.
I've been learning a bit about this part of the city, Gotham. It's quite amazing. The race course just to the south of here, 153 acres. Eden Gardens, what is it, the third biggest cricket ground in the world. Fort William, of course, quite glorious too. It's a beautiful big open space and wonderful for the runners to come out and jog throughout the year.
Yeah, and there's this large lung of green that you can see in the distance behind the runners. It's called the Maidan. It's basically just green space. Lots of amateur runners, lots of amateur cricket, football that happens. But for the moment, it's elite sport. For the moment, it's the elite. The Tata Steel Kolkata 25K that's underway. Sikowo, Tim, as you mentioned, the pacemaker for the uninitiated. He's not the leader of the race, really. He's just setting a time for the likes of the champion runners. Legese just behind him at the moment.
Yes, he's been asked to turn out a pace of a 2:54 per kilometre. That would take them through half marathon in 61:10, and then they've got to keep going at that speed. There is the course, Gotham. You know the city well.
Yes,
much better than me.
They go around Strand Road, just past the river into Mayo Road, and then they enter the heart of the city, AJC Bose Road, Syed Amir Ali Avenue, Ashutosh Chaudhary Avenue. Then they take a right, just coming back towards the river side of the city into the Alipur area. Racecourse is where they circumvent past the iconic Victoria Memorial and back to Red Road for the start-finish line.
The athletes will love this course, Gotham, because it's long, straight stretches, sweeping curves. There's a couple of U-turns where they have to slow down and make a sharp turn, but actually, by international standards, this is a super fast course. We did have course records back in 2019, 3 years ago, the last time this race was held, with both the men's and women's categories, and those are the targets for these athletes. For the men, 1 hour 13:05 by Barsaton, who is here today to defend his title. That was back in the middle of December 2019.
Well, we've seen just a hint of the course. We've seen the course map, but the man who actually makes sure it's in tip-top shape is Hugh Jones.
So himself in years gone by. Sikowo doing a great job here, as you can see. And I'm not surprised to see Behanu Legese in second place there, identically clad, because the Ethiopian is a fabulously consistent runner. He knows the course. He won here 4 years ago in 2018. Well, the athletes are of very high calibre, and they're looking for that big prize money. And these are the favourites. Barsaton is the defending champion. He didn't expect to be reigning for 3 years, the Kenyan, but he has the course record. Kiplangat, well, he's the Commonwealth Games champion in the marathon from this summer just gone in Birmingham. And he's had a wonderful year so far. And Legese is super consistent. Watch him. He's been managing injuries to his hip and his foot, Legese, but I suspect he is perhaps the marginal favourite.
Yeah, he is the one who's been tracking the pacemaker early on, Tim. He won here in 2018, and I think he seems just a little bit more determined than our defending champion from 2019.
No, exactly right, although they are watching each other very carefully in these early stages. I'm only 7.5 minutes on the clock. what's interesting is that Legesse is going with a pacemaker here, and yet I was talking to his manager yesterday, and he said he has a fabulous sprint finish. He's never lost a sprint finish. He always wins if he's there at the finish. So you'd think he might be sitting behind the other guys, saving that speed.
Yeah, the Indian men are out there. You can see they're just huffing and puffing ever so slightly. We've got Man Singh over there, and we go back to the elite athletes there, still keeping an eye on the pacemaker. Try and see at some point in time we'll get sector times, and Tim knows these times down to the last second to see how Sikowo is keeping the pace of this race up.
Well, we will be getting information throughout the race, and these athletes will be trying to hit a nice steady tempo. You can see it's a really good quality road surface here in Kolkata. 3 kilometers there, that goes by in what, 8:37, something like that. That is quick. That is a bit quicker than I was expecting, I think. Interesting to see Tola is there, Abdisa Tola, the 22-year-old to the left, the tall figure in the black shorts and the white vest. He's very inexperienced, the Ethiopian, but back in October last year, he hit the international scene with a real bang, winning the Rome Ostia Marathon from the Italian capital out to the coast. He won a famous half marathon under 60 minutes. That's the benchmark of supreme world class, 60 minutes for the half marathon. So he is learning all the time. The tallest lad there to the left of picture, Abdisa Tola.
Tree-lined avenues in this part of the city. That's the right turn we mentioned moments ago. Now, as we look at it, the river will be to the right, the green army areas to the left. As they come down Strand Road in Kolkata, they'll be coming to the 4-kilometer mark very quickly. 3.8, 3.9, there they are. They've just got past the 4-kilometer marker here in Kolkata, and that is the sign that they are alongside the river to the right. At the 12-minute, almost a 13-minute mark, the elite ladies there with their male pacemaker, as you said, Tim, in the all black. The lead runners are still there.
Yes, and Bekele there, right behind the black-clad Bernard Cheptoch, is a very, very strong. I think she will want this to remain healthy, this tempo, the 34-year-old. She's had 2 great marathons this year. Back in February, she ran 2:17 in Tokyo, 2 hours 17 for 2nd place in the Tokyo Marathon. That actually was in early March. And then at the London Marathon, back on the 2nd of October, she was 6th in 2:19. So twice this year, she has punched through the 2:20 barrier. She didn't finish the World Championships Marathon back in the summer. Remember, that was over on the Pacific Northwest of the USA in Eugene. The World Championships Marathon was in very warm conditions. Even though she's run 25 marathons, that was the first time she's failed to finish one. Is at the back of the group there in the blue to the right of picture. She's only run 71 minutes for the half marathon. She's quite inexperienced. A lot of her racing has been back in Ethiopia. But because, of course, Ethiopia and most of Kenya is at high altitude, the times that come out of the Ethiopian races can be deceptive. They look slow on paper, but when you take into account the fact that they're running at high altitude where there's less oxygen, you've got to take minutes off those times very often. So Abdita, for me, is a bit of a dark horse here in that blue T-shirt. I think she could cause a bit of a surprise.
Asian record. This is Asif. He's attempting to go for the entire race without any sort of physical contact. It's only with audible help from his companions. And
it is fantastic. I mean, clearly Asif Iqbal has built up this confidence of running despite his being visually challenged. And he here is trying to set this record without any contact. So normally you run with a guide runner and you have a piece of rope or a piece of rubber between yourself. I actually helped a blind runner in a race in New Zealand many years ago in a half marathon. And it's hard running at their tempo and trying to stay very close to them and not pulling them all over the place with the small connection between yourself and the runner. This for Asif Iqbal in a way makes it easier for him, but he has to trust these athletes who are giving him audible guidance. The big names are there. Interesting to see Tola there. He's the least famous in a way of all of them. The 22-year-old Ethiopian to the left of picture there. He was 6th in Paris back in March in a half marathon, only in 63 minutes. That was very slow. I don't know if he'd had some injuries before that, but that's nowhere near as good as the 59-minute run he had in Italy in October last year. So Tola there looks strong, doesn't he? He's a big lad, towering over the rest of these athletes. But I wonder whether or not he's feeling good or if he's hanging on. It's sometimes very, very hard. You know, these elite athletes, they are so good at their trade that very often they conceal their fatigue and they look comfortable right up to the point where suddenly it's almost like a psychological elastic band snaps and they drop back pretty quickly. But at the moment, all 16, he's not really a marathon racer. He's a more accomplished half marathon runner, is Barsaton there, the smallest man in the group.
You talked about Christmas shopping. They've just gone past one of the iconic malls of the city, Quest Mall in Kolkata, and you can see the general runners there coming in there, proud to be a finisher. We'll keep an eye on so many of them finishing the race and getting the medal for their efforts. It's absolutely wonderful to see a medal they'll treasure for a lifetime.
I just love the atmosphere happening right behind me. I can see the electric and the adrenaline rush going on right now because they have smiles on their face. They're very tired. They've just finished the elite 10K run, but the atmosphere is so magical and exciting that it is almost like a magic litmus which is touching us, and I'm enjoying every single moment standing here.
It is, and the magic of running is evident on the streets of Kolkata. And
When they're racing at just a 10K, so they're well within a comfort zone here. And I think we might see, in both races, negative splits, a quicker second half than the first half. Well, still Sikowo leading at the front end of this men's race. The pacemaker from Uganda doggedly pushing on. And look, 42 minutes on the clock. We're expecting the course record maybe to go here today. It stands at 1:13, 1 hour 13:05. So they're way past halfway here. And yet still Sikowo is looking very strong. I wonder if he's thinking, perhaps I should have been racing this with all the others, because at the moment, so far, I should say, he's done all the work. Now, Victor Kiplangat, the Commonwealth Games champion in the marathon, made a move just there, a little acceleration up onto the shoulder of Sikowo. He is Ugandan as well. He said he really enjoyed the hilly course of the Commonwealth Games marathon course in Birmingham. He was hoping there'd be a few more hills in this course today. He said he'd prefer it to be hilly, but it is dead flat in the year of competition. So Ngeno, a few years after he hit the headlines, despite being based in Japan, hasn't developed as he might have expected. Perhaps today we'll see his return to the top.
But at the moment, still leading the pack, Victor Kiplangat. Pacemaker's done his job. He's gone. And Ngeno in second place at the moment. And not too far behind them is the defending champion. Can he make a bit of a move? We've got...
Well, there's the leading women. Still Bernard Cheptoch leading them. He's been leading them out at an absolute metronomic rate at 15K, 49 minutes exactly. And he's done a wonderful job. And their target time at 15K was 49:15. So the women have accelerated a little bit over the last 5K. They've moved ahead of race schedule. And Cheptoch doing an absolutely brilliant job because he kept the pace nice and steady, and that's why there's such a big group there. In fact, a couple of athletes in yellow who I thought were dropping away seem to have closed up on the group. One or two have dropped back. I think that might be Tesfaye, the 24-year-old in yellow, who's dropped right back. But at the moment, this is a more open race than the men's. In the men's, we're down to 4 or 5. Here we've got 7 or 8 in this women's contest. It's looking very, very exciting with 50 minutes on the clock. The course record they're chasing, Gotham, 1:22.09 by Guteni Shone of Ethiopia 3 years back, 1:22.09. That men's course record, 1:13.05, almost exactly 9 minutes quicker.
Well, let's see if anything's changed in the men. The tall figure of Tola right now is now alongside the defending champion. Has Barsaton made a slight forward move? He's actually seen in the front. Biranu Legese rather, is at the moment he's taken the lead again. Remember, he was right behind the pacemaker throughout the opening stages of this race. Now he's taken the lead on his own. Kiplangat wants a drink. He's got one. Still, Barsaton does not take the lead in this race, but he stays just behind the leading pack.
Well, they now are on, they've slipped slightly outside course record schedule, 58.35, and you can see the men's event record, 1:13.05, and I think they're on schedule for something about 5 or 10 seconds slower than that. Now, they will pick it up in the last couple of kilometres. You always do in distance races. You dig deep and push on hard in the last mile or so. That's about 1.5 kilometres. So these fellas, I think, probably still have a good chance of breaking the course record. But you can see there, 3 of them across the front. Barsaton, the defending champion, to the left. Victor Kiplangat in the middle, the Commonwealth Games champion at the marathon. And Legesse, the winner here back in 2018. 3 across the front, and none of them really prepared to kick on. It's when you can see it spread across the road that you know that they're not pushing hard. And 8 seconds. That was set by Eliud Kipchoge during his marathon world record in Berlin back in late September, just 3 months or so back. Kipchoge, 1:11.08. I don't think we're going to see something that quick, but Barsaton here, well, the last time he raced in anger on the streets of Kolkata, he ran 1:13.05 for that victory. And I'm sure he is heading here for something a good deal quicker than that. Maybe not down to world record, but certainly a course record. He's beginning to suffer a little bit now. Maybe just a little bit of that bounce has gone out of his stride. I haven't seen him look round yet, have you? I don't think he's checked behind him, but you can see the gap behind him is still only about 50 metres. There's very, very intense racing going on behind him between Berhano Legesse and I think it's Victor Kiplangat. They are absolutely flying in the background, and they might even be closing, but I think they might have left it too late.
6:25, and this is where they're coming down Red Road for the finish for the final time for Leonard Barsaton. You can see the bright orange shorts in the distance. Can they be closing in? 300 meters mark coming up for Leonard Barsaton. Is he going to hang on for that? 1:11.44. He's looking like he's going to break the course record, but can Legesse or Kiplangat catch up with him?
Well, this has been a supremely executed run from Leonard Barsaton. He will retain his title at the Tata Steel Kolkata 25K. The battle behind is drawing the pursuers closer, but they've left it too late. He has enough daylight with 200 metres to run. The Kenyan, at the age of 28, after some real ups and downs in the last 3 years since his win here in 2019, that Achilles injury is behind him. He might have only been 37th in the Berlin Marathon back in September, but that tested the Achilles completely perfectly. 100 metres to go, and Barsaton tears down the road, Red Road. He's lightning quick towards the finish line, and watch the clock. His course record from 3 years ago, 1:13.05. He's going to smash it. He's obliterated it. He beats it there by some 22 seconds or so unofficially. 1:12.43 I got him at, and that is supreme. And the sprint for second place, so intense between Legesse and Kiplangat.
It's
Wow.
Legesse who comes in second place, and Kiplangat will take third place. But there is the man to salute, our champion for 2022, Leonard Barsaton from Kenya. He won in 2019. He's won again in 2022. Consecutive victories for this man from Kenya. He celebrates his moment, and there comes the smile. We're used to seeing that. He flashes it in all its brilliance. Have a look at the winning moment again. Tim mentioned it was a sprint to the finish, and that stride came out as he breasted the tape, which was being held by India's first ever individual Olympic gold medalist, Abhinav Bindra, the international event ambassador for this event.
Well, Jisa has broken away. Look at this. For the first time, there is separation in the women's race. It's looked oh so cozy for well over an hour. But Jisa, powerfully built, the new mum from Ethiopia, is pushing on strongly here. The 25-year-old working really hard, isn't she?
Yes, it is the Indian record, 1:15.17, so that's not going to be broken. That is Avinash Sable's record. But Abhishek Pal looks like he's leading the way for the Indian men in the neon green jersey. 200 meters to go for Abhishek Pal.
Well, they clearly raced a more conservative cat and mouse game. The best Indians watching each other, looking for national pride, national honours here. And Abhishek Pal, well, he does look strong now. He's not going to be caught, is he? The time, nowhere near what Avinash Sable ran back in 2017. 1 hour 15:17. It's over 2 minutes slower than that. But it doesn't matter. It's not all about records. It's about great racing. And that is a fabulous race and a big win for Pal. Well done.
And Kalidas Hirave, who's also been a very familiar part of racing in these parts, comes in second place. Abhishek Pal, the champion among the Indian men, and in second place, wearing bib number 58, Kalidas Hirave. Seeing a couple of more men finishing in there. That's third and fourth for the Indian men coming in, as we see Abhinav Bindra in the background. Just doesn't want to get bumped off by those finishers. And Srinu Bugatha, we were expecting him to be a favourite coming in there. And Murli Gavit. So the two favourites for the race coming in third and fourth places. So well done to Abhishek Pal for ousting them. Srinu Bugatha in third and Murli Gavit in fourth place behind Abhishek Pal and Kalidas Hirave.
This is special. The new mum, 28th in the World Cross Country back in 2019, came here and took a second place a few months later after that run in Denmark. She is a great runner on the roads and the country. She's a 2:23 marathon runner. She has enormous strength. Today, she has enormous skill to win this race in a very similar fashion to the men's. Desi Jisa takes victory, kicking hard about 5 kilometers out and taking the win.
And just behind her, we will probably see it's Yimer coming in. Zaineba Yimer, also from Ethiopia, taking second place, all breasting the tape alongside the Ratna for Tata Steel Kolkata 25K, an icon of Bengal and Kolkata, Julan Goswami, welcoming the three runners at the finish line. Jisa, Yimer, and just behind them,
I think that's Merceline Chalangat? Yes, Merceline Chalangat, I think, taking third place. What we can say, though, is that it's a massive new course record in the women's race. I think she set a new course record, Jisa, by over a minute. The course record by Guteni shown 3 years ago was 1:22.09. She has obliterated it, smashed it by a huge margin. And so much for that down to the really aggressive running in the last 10 or 15 minutes from the Ethiopian, from the Bahraini, I should say, the former Ethiopian. Great marathon racer, and now a great racer over 25K. And she's come back here after a second place 3 years ago to take victory.
there's the winning moment for Desi Jisa. Moments ago, we saw her greeting her training partner, Ashete Bekere, who's not managed to finish in the top four. She pulled out after having led the race behind the pacemaker for a long time.
Hi, well, let me welcome this very, very special lady, Julan Goswami. Of course, she doesn't need any introduction. Hi, a very, very good morning.
Good morning to you too.
How are you doing, and what do you think of Kolkata Marathon TSK 25K?
Well, it's been an excellent experience in early morning coming to the Maidan. Is something different, and when Tata Steel Kolkata marathons come, they create a new buzz in our city, and after 2 years this marathon has started, come back to our city, and as a Bengali, we always believe that we need to celebrate, and we can celebrate it this way. The sports is a new way to celebrate in our city, and what's better than Tata Steel Marathon?
And you can never keep Sanjeevani out of any race. And it looks like once again she's put distance between herself and the rest of the field as she makes the turn towards the finish line, heading towards Red Road. Just in the Queensway area is Sanjeevani Jadhav. She's been there, she's done that in the past, not just in Kolkata, she's done it in Delhi. She's raced in Bengaluru, but this is a city she's enjoyed racing in. Wonderful weather conditions here. Started about anything between 12 and 14 degrees early in the morning. It's just warmed up, perhaps to about 18 or 19. It's still wonderful to be in Kolkata in the winter season. Jadhav, the best of the Indian women in Kolkata 2022.
Well, she has run a 73-minute half marathon at the Airtel Delhi half marathon back in 2020. That's her personal best. 73 minutes exactly. That's knocking on the door of international class. And I've loved seeing these Indian athletes gradually improving over the years. You know, I've been lucky enough to come to India, Mumbai Marathon and other races for some 15 or 16 years now. Got them, and they are improving gradually, year on year. Standards are improving. They haven't come near the course record today, but that doesn't matter. It's good running here from Sanjivani Jadhav.
Well, there she is. That'll be 100 meters to go for Sanjivani. A few of the Indian men finishing late will be keeping her company. But there we can see, we just heard from Jhulan Goswami, and we see her in action again, holding up the tape to welcome the best of the Indian ladies. Sanjivani Jadhav breasts the tape in 1:34.17, unofficially of course, and that is her 2022 timing as she comes back as the best of the Indian ladies. She'll celebrate. It's not the first time she's won a race. It's not going to be the last time either. There's a replay of her finishing in slow motion, greeted by the Ratna of Tata Steel Kolkata 25K, Jhulan Goswami on the left of your picture there. The pride of Kolkata, the pride of Bengal. And she applauds Sanjivani Jadhav coming in. And there we see finally one of the Indians, 123, Nirma Thakur, finishing in third place, or about to finish in third place. Still a couple of 100 meters to go. That's Nirma Thakur finishing. We know the winner of the Indian ladies, Sanjivani Jadhav, Monica Chaudhary in second place. And now we can see Nirma Thakur finishing there. 1:23.47 at the Nashik, Maharashtra Marathon. And it was Renu Singh, in fact, who finished in third place. And Nirma finishing in fourth place, Nirma Thakur. So now we have our top four: Sanjivani Jadhav, Monica Chaudhary, Renu Singh and Nirma Thakur. And as we look there, she sees a diminutive little figure in the middle of your screen there, finishing in fourth place there, huffing and puffing her way to the finish. Looks like she had her own little personal pacemaker who she's been running alongside for a long time, one of the amateur runners.
There's the result of that men's 25K for this Tata Steel Kolkata 25K. Leonard Barsaton, a course record 1:12.49, improving his own time of 3 years ago by some 16 seconds. Berhanu Legesse, a fighting second place to 1:12.54, the marathon specialist. And Victor Kiplangat, well, that underlines the calibre of the race, the Commonwealth champion in the marathon in third place. And in the women's race, Desi Jisa, a course record for her by over 1 minute, a huge improvement on that course record of Guteni Shone from 3 years back. 1:21.04 it's gone down to from 1:22.09, 65 seconds. Zaneba Yima, second place there, and in third place going to Chalangat from Kenya.
And the champions with disability, 2.3 kilometers.
It's going to turn out very well.
4, 3, 2,
Well, I think many of the runners just wanted a little selfie with Mobani and then they wanted to race. She was right in the thick of it. That's where you want to be. I was there at the start line early on. Hopefully we'll persuade Tim to get out there in a while, because it's great to be in this fabulous studio, but that's where all the action is, on Red Road. The champions with disability and the senior citizens run will be run over 2.3 kilometers of this wonderful course in this green part of Kolkata. Well, we're here live in Kolkata for Tata Steel. We're live in Kolkata for Tata Steel Kolkata 25K. Wonderful pictures coming to you early in the morning. Sun might be up now, but this started at 5:40 in the morning, believe it or not, before even the sun rose. And the big story we've been following, our Notun Alo story, is Asif Iqbal attempting to break a record at the Asian level, the Asian Book of Records, the first Asian to run 25 kilometers without any physical assistance. And wonderful, he's been doing it only with audio clues. Leaves us, we can see just the start-finish line for our champions with disability, and the senior citizens run is in progress. And we've got all our colleagues who have been busy up and about. Who's Genia got with her now?
A very good morning once again and welcome to TSK 25K Kolkata Marathon. Right now with me the very gorgeous, talented, our favorite, extremely fit, Shubhashree Ganguly.
Thank you, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. So how are you liking it, Kolkata Marathon?
Oh, amazing, because Kolkata, the city of joy, it has a different vibe, you know, a different energy. So, and if it is related to sports, then it's in a different level altogether.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So yeah, this vibe gives me very happiness, you know.
So
More results coming your way. The Indian men, 1:17.52, the best timing in there from Abhishek Pal. Kalidas Hirave finishing in second place. Almost a minute behind them was Srinu Bugatha, who's been such an important part of running. All the others finishing in 1:19.23 and beyond. That was the men among the 25K. What about the women? You'll see among the women a huge gap. 1:34.23 for Sanjeevani Yadav and 1:37 for Monica Chaudhary. And then we've got to go back to 1:39.11 for Reenu Singh, who finished in third place. Well, there we are. Tim Hutchings finally getting out there, getting down and dirty among the thick of it all. But we've seen the flag off stand right now. All the dignitaries are there for the last of our runners, or the last of our events, as it were, and it's the largest of them all. This is the one where the entire city comes to participate and, of course, have a bit of fun. It's the Ananda Run. Ananda, of course, literally stands for fun and merriment, and that's what huge numbers of people from Kolkata who are not necessarily semi-professional or even amateur athletes. And have a look at that. In the center of your picture is Jhulan Goswami. She's done a lot of running in her time, and she's had her fast bowling to negotiate over the years. This time, it's not just 22 yards, a lot more than that she has to run. 5 kilometers is the length of the Ananda Run, and they're all running behind Jhulan Goswami. All delighted to be with someone who's been pride of Kolkata, pride of Bengal, and as Arup Bishwas said a few minutes ago, definitely the pride of India as well. Have a look at this. Kolkata coming out in their numbers, not just to watch and inspire others, but to participate themselves. We've seen the champions with disability not too long ago. We've seen the senior citizens run, and now it's the Ananda Run. So many running for different causes, different charities. They'll dress up. They'll do it all for a good reason. And it's not just fancy dress, it's all for a very, very good cause. This is the smallest of the distances, but the largest of the causes. The Ananda Run in Kolkata at Tata Steel Kolkata 25K 2022. On a day when we've seen the men's and the women's course records shattered. And yeah, she's got the camera properly focused. I think she's just a little bit nervous to click on that. There he goes past them. And come on, there's going to be a big hug waiting for him. There it is. Look at him, look at him. He's jubilant. Look around and see your family. There is his wife, his daughter. And that is a family scene for the ages. We don't always see this, and we can just savor these moments. A Notun Alo hero, and I think an inspiration and a hero to many, many people around.
Well, I'm with the North Kolkata runners, the NKR runners, and this is Sanya who I think is the leader. Are you the ringleader?
Yes, I'm the leader. I'm the captain of NKR, North Kolkata Runners. This is North Kolkata Runners group. And we are from Calcutta. We are about like 200 members in our North Kolkata Runners group. We run every day. We have 5 clans in Calcutta and we represent Calcutta as a running group. So, and our captain is Rahul Iron Gupta and Ankit Badani.
Now, I've been watching you for the last 10 minutes and you're clearly all quite mad, but it looks to me like the ladies are in charge.
Yes, we all are cheering, we all are in Josh and we are representing Calcutta and our group, North Kolkata Runners Group, we are representing in the high Josh. How's the Josh, girls?
I'm super excited right now as we can see that the Anand Run is on, and also we have many special people running us who have been doing the marathon for a very long time. So you've been doing the marathon for a very long time, right?
एक्चुअली जब मैं कलकत्ता से मैराथन जब स्टार्ट हुआ था एवेल के साथ मैं भाग रहा था, तो अभी फिजिकली चैलेंज के लिए दूसरा कैटेगरी हो गया है, तो उसमें पार्टिसिपेट करता है क्योंकि मैं पैरा एथलीट हूँ। मैं पैरा एशियन गेम्स में लॉन्ग जंप में सिल्वर मेडलिस्ट हूँ, तो अभी अच्छा लगता है क्योंकि जो फिजिकली चैलेंज है वो भी कोशिश करता है कि हम कुछ करें, कुछ आगे बढ़े, इंडिया के लिए कुछ करें। तो होपफुली टाटा स्टील को हम धन्यवाद कहेंगे क्योंकि उन लोगों ने इतना सारे अरेंजमेंट किया है और उसके साथ फिजिकली चैलेंज को भी इसमें पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए भाग दिया है, तो थैंकफुली और उससे भी आगे बढ़ेगा एवं देश के लिए जो लोग हम लड़ रहे तो उसके साथ टाटा स्टील हमेशा रहेगा, यही कोशिश करेंगे।
Run.
And this is the wonderful prize that they had waiting at the end of it. Complete 25 kilometers and you can pick up that glittering medal that's going to be adorning mantelpieces across the city and maybe even across the country for people who have come from outside. Suman Biswas with 34.41, who led the pack in the men's open results for the 10K that of course started early in the morning. For the women, we had Tashi Ladol with 38.46. Wonderful timings for all our amateur runners in the women's open 10K. We also had the 25K, remember just after the elite started, 1:24.56, times to be proud of for Shani Chaudhary, Rupan Devnath, Anuj Kumar, the top 3 there under 125. And for the women's, Saraswati Rai finishing with 1:47.33, and like in the Indian women's elite, there was 2 minutes gap to first and second. So congratulations to all the open 10K and open 25K amateur participants. Of course, let's have a look at the men who made history there. There we go, the winners in the elite class. And there at the top of the podium for the second time in succession, Leonard Barsaton. To his left is Victor Kiplangat, and to his right is Birhanu Legese. The top 3 on the podium, all under 1:13.05, which was, of course, the original course record in Kolkata set in 2019. Look at the Indian men who topped the list over there. We saw them coming in earlier. It's a big moment for the Indian men, the top 3 who finished up there, and many congratulations to them, and they are being felicitated by Julan Goswami, Abhishek Pal on the top step, and Kalidas Hirave the second, Srinu Bugatha finishing in 3rd place. All smiles is Julan Goswami as she felicitates them. The Indian men, the elite men, and of course the women's race in the elite category was also record-breaking. Tim, we saw 3 of them all coming inside there. Desi Jisa from Bahrain, Saineba Yimer of Ethiopia, and Merciline Chelangat from Uganda.
Yes, brilliant racing from these 3, but in particular a really inspiring run from the champion, the 25-year-old former Ethiopian, now running for Bahrain, Desi Jisa, who is atop the rostrum there. That is Yima, her time 1:21.18. The course record was 1:22.09 before today. So course records in the women's and men's races. There is Jisa getting her prize of $7,500 US. and her time 1:21.04. Course record by a big old chunk, 65 seconds in fact. And she worked for that. I loved the way Gotham, that she looked totally mortal in that last 5-7 minutes. She was hurting.
Yeah, the new mum, as we're talking about, among the elite women. And finally, among the Indian women, the person we expected would be on the top step is certainly there, Sanjeevani Jadhav. But joining her on that podium are Monica Chaudhary and Reenu Singh, the top three Indian ladies there. One of the Ratnas of TSK 25K there, felicitating all three. That's the little certificate for Sanjeevani Jadhav. Certainly augurs well for the future of Indian sport. Still a long way to go. Canning Swanirbhar, Chaya PRCA, the Concern India Foundation, Dakshini Prayash and Digambarpur Angikar, all the foundations, and there's so many others who have joined in there. Future Hope, Habitat for Humanity, India Trust, Human Development Center, many who have been there in the past, many who have joined in before. Mukti, a name we are familiar with, and so many others, because we kept saying that when you talk about running for a cause, it's about getting all these foundations, all these NGOs who do so much throughout the year, and along with all the corporates there. Look at that familiar names: PwC, LIC Housing Finance, Tata Steel Downstream Products Limited, Gainwell, Everready, Rallis, Blue Star. The Blue Star there is a corporate. Blue Star also have their own foundation. So you can see between the NGOs and the corporates, this is really the crux of what marathon running, what distance running is about. You've got the international elite athletes who come there, they pick up their great prize money. One of the cities where Park Street was along the route of the 25K, and we could see the lights already in place for the celebration that will no doubt come over the Christmas and New Year season. For now, it's just almost a dress rehearsal to that, as the big numbers finishing off the Ananda run for something that started off, well, almost 4 hours ago at 5:40 in the morning, and have lots and lots of fun, as many of the runners, I suspect that's the North Kolkata running group, who are now celebrating the departure of Tim Hutchings, who was spending a lot of time with them.
Hearts of the people, in the hearts of the administration, the authority, they're saying, man, thank God you're back. It's that spirit, it's that, we need that. People train for 3-4 months. People need something to train for. It's easy to say go out there and train in the morning, but you can't do it unless you have a goal. That goal is events like this. So what a wonderful person. And every step of the way, if you look back, whether it's the Indian Army and the role they have played, whether it's all the organizations to come forward for a common success, for a common goal, that doesn't happen every day, and that's precious.
Now, Tim, you and I are going to be going...
Which is also a pretty daunting distance of 21K, was sold out in about 2 weeks' time, and that's 16,000 people.
Well, of course, we're talking about 42 and 21 in Mumbai, a unique distance here, where the course record was shattered by Leonard Basseton, the defending champion from 2019. Viranu Legese and Victor Kiplangat also were under that. The top three men all breaking the course record here in Kolkata. These were the elite men. In the women's, in the elite, and the men, Abhishek Pal, once again a very familiar figure, Kalidas Hirave and Shrinu Bugata. All three such an essential part of Indian running. And among the women, we had a very competitive race, but Desi Jisa from Bahrain lives in Addis Ababa, 1:21.04, the course record. So was Zaineba Yimer inside the course record, as was Mercila Chelangat. The top three, so the men and the women inside the course record. Sanjeevani, Monica and Reenu making up the top three among the women.